Tell the people who you are and just give them a little background about yourself, about what you do. Of course, we know who you are,
definitely,
and what you do.
Yeah.
But for those who are not too familiar with you,
Yeah, I'm Ryan Razooky. I'm a basketball skills trainer. I work with tons of different players. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Mikey Williams, Flight Reacts. Those are probably two of the biggest clients that everybody knows. Jimmy Butler's been to my gym. A couple other NBA players, overseas guys, G League guys. But really, I work with a ton of high school athletes, middle school athletes, and elementary school athletes. I work with tons of athletes all over the world. So
that's great.
and how did you get into working with athletes? Like, what were you doing before?
I was studying. So, I mean, I was studying at the same time I was training athletes. So as soon as I finished up like high school, I was studying at San Diego State and working with a couple athletes, doing some private lessons and things, and it just kept going from there.
Wow. And you blossomed that into like an actual business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's dope.
Definitely it is. So where are you from specifically?
San Diego.
San
Diego. You mean San Diego? You mean my like ethnicity or where I'm born?
No. City-wise, you're fine. San Diego.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
And so you do train. You mentioned you've done training internationally as well.
Yeah, so I run some camps in Africa, a lot in Mexico. Where else? I mean, I've been to Japan, which was really cool. Trying to remember exactly where else I've done a couple. I had one planned in Canada, but I had to end up going to North Carolina for the summer. So a couple other countries I forget.
Go ahead.
Why did you skip on the 6 like that? Is there any reason?
Yeah, skipping out.
Yeah, so one of my NBA players was he had finished up a season in Charlotte and was going back there. Like he was a G League guy, or he was an NBA guy. He went to the G League. He got picked up by Charlotte, so he finished the season with them and was preparing for his next season over there. Mm-hmm. So I pretty much stayed with him all summer. So I planned to run a camp in Canada, and I had someone who hosted it, who set it up, was ready to do it. I had to stay with my guy all summer in Charlotte, so I couldn't go out there.
Now I want to ask you if how is it internationally? Like I want to ask about Africa as well, with the training. What do you see any like major differences in the game or that international athletes they do?
They're starting the NBA over there, right?
Right. The difference between in the international training versus over here in the States.
You know what? I'll give you credit because that was one of the best questions I've ever been asked. I normally don't love doing podcasts because I'll typically get like the same 10 questions every time. That was well done. Well done.
No problem.
So the style and the mentality is like the biggest difference. When I went to Japan and ran a camp out there, it was mostly on the military base. So I didn't get to see as much of like the culture and how they interact with training. But what I've heard about like Chinese culture is those kids will lock in and do whatever you say. And like if I asked a kid to do a jab and shoot a jump shot and not dribble, he'll do it 500 times. That's what I've heard, at least. I haven't run any camps in China. But in Japan, I went out to a place called Yoyogi Park, which is a really famous park. And so we would hoop out there. These kids were all about the extra flash and the extra flair. So if they could cross you 4 times, they're going to try to cross you unnecessarily cross you 4 times and hit a step back, shoot it, turn around. Like it was culturally, they were just about having fun and making the extra play, or not the extra play in a good way. Like they would try to cross you more times than they should. Maybe that was just the area I was in or just the hood that I was in there at Yoyogi. But the military kids, I mean, they worked hard. Some of those kids were from all over the world. And then in Africa, when I went and hooped in Africa, I was out there with a bunch of people, and it was so much more fundamental, which surprised me. Like they threw it into the post. They were setting off-ball screens. They were like, it was crazy. They were cutting to the basket hard, popping out hard, talking, communicating. Like I must have been the only person who like even dribbled more than 3 times. What? And then some other kid saw me like cross somebody, and then the young kid came out and tried to do the same thing, lost the ball, and every single old head was yelling at this dude like, just pass it to the post and set screens. Like it was crazy how fundamental it was. I was not ready for that.
Right. So that
Wow.
is a comparison because,
Wow.
most coaches definitely say, oh, the international play is more fundamentally sound. They pass the ball 10 times before they shoot, all that stuff.
That's why they big
They're-
men be more fundamentally sound as well.
Yeah.
What
they're
do
talking.
you think it is? How do you think? What do you think that is?
So they're talking more about like European style. So I've also, when I was in Israel, same guy I was with in Charlotte. I went to Israel, and he was playing for like the biggest team there called Maccabi Tel Aviv. But what's cool about the pros and international is Maccabi Tel Aviv would practice, like the pro team would practice, and right after the pro team would be a bunch of little kids who are like U16, U15, U14, like they'd come out and hold their practice. So you're in the same facility as the pros, you're getting the same type of training as the pros, it's just trickling down to the youth. And so they care a ton about the fundamentals, and I guess they're like less lenient with certain things. Obviously, American kids for some reason crazy athletic, so I guess they just focus more on the mechanics and the shooting and the screening and passing and moving and stuff more than we do here. And their systems are different, like AAU basketball and all the different types of things we have kind of just push a culture of more of like getting the best kids versus developing the best kids.
Right. My bigger, I guess I'm really trying to see, as a trainer, you would know, and I mean coaches know too, but as a personal trainer, what is the difference between training somebody who has raw talent and someone who just has skill and not raw talent? Is there any difference in between the two?
Yeah, a lot actually. So the kid who's like raw talented is kind of annoying because they do a lot of things well, but they don't realize what they're doing well. So like that would be the type of person who could not teach you how to do something, but they could do it themselves. So for instance, like if I asked you to do a crossover into a layup, like you could do the crossover into a layup, but you might jump off the right foot, the left foot off 2 feet. And for you, because you're just raw skilled, it does not matter how you do it. You're going to be able to finish it anyway. Like you're going to be just fine. But the person who's actually just skilled and talented can go ahead and cross over and do a jump stop and go off 2 feet,
Exactly
go off the right foot.
Exactly
go
what
off.
you're saying.
Yeah, he could do it off the right foot, the left foot off 2 feet, but he can know which one he wants to do. So it makes it like, it's hard to explain. Like, you could cross over and step into the pull-up correctly because you're skilled, but the kid who's just raw skilled will do it so fast. Even if he does it incorrectly, it's still effective. So it's like a bite your tongue type thing, because you just watch this kid who's so skilled, like just with raw talent. They're not doing everything right, but they're getting away with all of it.
Are we speaking on raw athleticism or
no skill? Raw skill. Like just a kid with like raw skill will hit you with a move and they'll make the shot even if they go into the shot incorrectly. Like if they step into it wrong or they're not holding the ball correctly or certain things, like they'll still hit it just because of pure raw skill. And that's kind of annoying.
Like Russell, I would say athleticism. You would say skill?
Russell is raw skill too. He has
I'll say skill, but I'll say athleticism first and foremost, especially like just like with D Rose. I'm gonna say like if you give me that body type and you tell me he's just athletic, he's gonna do a lot of goofy stuff, but he's gonna make those layups or he's gonna dunk on you
definitely
off the wrong foot or maybe glide. You know what I mean?
So, right. I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out here is with you being a personal trainer and everything, like I said, does that ever clash with coaching? Because I see where a lot of coaches don't really like personal trainers for their players, especially high school kids, because they're like, you're basically trying to pull them away.
I've seen it before, but I never run into that issue. So if you're a trainer that has affiliations, that becomes an issue. So I don't have any affiliations with any program. So any kid that trains with me, coaches feel safe because they come and train with me and they go right back to where they came from. I don't tell them where to go to school. I don't tell them where to transfer. I don't tell them what to do. I don't tell them to, go out there and take 30 dribbles and be a ball hog. I don't ask them to do those things. All we do is very fundamental, basic things, and just do them often. 1 dribble pull up, 2 dribble pull up, crossover, layup, jump stop, Euro step. Small things that you're just going to need to have in your bag. But if you do them enough, then you're just effective at the fundamentals.
I want to revisit Africa because it intrigued me when you said that they were just, so fundamentally on point, passing the ball, setting screens and picks. So as a trainer, when you're observing that, where do you come in? How do you make your game plan for you to come in and do your job? What is your mentality when you see that? Because I mean, the way you explained it, it sounded perfect, almost like, oh.
Yeah, the problem with that stuff though is like, even if you execute things correctly with the X's and O's, you still have to have the skills to execute the shot and to make the shot. So what you would do is and I do it a lot where I don't do a ton of ball handling, but like, yes, I do ball. It depends on who I'm training, what they need exactly, right? But for me, the most important thing always is that you can dribble with both hands, pass with both hands, finish with both hands, and that you can shoot the ball correctly. So even if you know how to set a screen to move, pass, run, post up, do all these things, you still might get a cut to the basket, but not understand the correct footwork to finish, or 4 different ways to finish, or 10 different ways to finish, or how do you shoot a floater, or how do you shoot a pull-up. So even if you're getting into your shot differently than a 4 dribble combo, you're still having to knock down the shot. So even if you're smart, like being smart isn't going to make the shot. You still have to hit the shot. You still have to be able to execute it. So you just work on the skill of finishing the play versus how to get there.
The best state to be in is the state when you're not thinking anymore. You're just playing, but you're remembering the fundamentals. Because you're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's in your head, but you're just in real time. You're not thinking about it. It's just,
it becomes second nature.
Yeah. But another question, I need your top 5, man. You're a basketball trainer, so I know you got a different eye for it.
Definitely.
So just, can you give me that?
Just what, top 5 all time?
All time.
Oh my God. Look, Kobe's been my favorite player forever. So since I was a kid, I literally modeled everything after Kobe. So I'm gonna rock with Kobe.
Don't tell me you're biased.
Huh?
You're gonna still be, even kid. You're not gonna just give it to Kobe as number 1, are you, or what?
I'm just saying you want my top 5. I'm not putting no order on nothing.
Okay, no order. Okay.
But Kobe is. I'm rocking with Kobe to the end. Like,
okay.
Facts.
He's so skilled, bro. It's nuts. So skilled. But yeah, I'll just say like Kobe, MJ, and then you gotta put Kareem in there because this dude he's the leading scorer of all time, and he probably never made a 3 in his life, like off of straight hook shots. That's nuts. Yeah, Kobe, MJ, Kareem. Shoot, you can probably put. I don't know, man. It's tough just because like Wilt is special. But you don't really have enough film on Wilt.
Yeah, he didn't look like he had all the moves. He didn't have a lot of moves. He was just bigger and stronger and fast, it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Back to the table. That's all I'm saying.
It's tough when you mix generations and stuff too. But I mean, I say Braun next. So Kobe, MJ, Braun, Kareem, and I don't know, man. You can throw whoever you want in the 5th spot.
Man, you gonna do KD like that?
Nah, dude, he's not the. Yeah, I don't know. You can put Shaq in there, I guess, but KD's not. I mean, not best of all time right now. Right? Let him,
he ain't even like he.
Let him finish his career. Just let him finish his career, man.
Yeah.
Okay, look, if you give KD, give KD what Michael had. Give KD Scotty. You give KD Anthony Davis and the Lakers squad right now. You can give him the Lakers squad right now. He might win the championship.
It was called the Golden State
If he had
Warriors.
Scotty for 8 years, I think he can win at least 6 titles. I don't think they're stopping KD like that. So, I mean, we're not putting enough respect on his name. Now, he did come in with Russell Westbrook.
I don't think he needs
Russell was ball hogging for at least all of these years. He was allowing him to shoot his shots. He was barely shooting shots. I think Russell shot more than him. They said quite a bit more.
Listen, it is what it is, sir. We're going to disregard that. We're going to disregard KD because he ain't got nothing to do with this when we talking about the GOAT conversation.
Oh, that's
when you were talking about, now you said you were in Tel Aviv, correct? I'm sorry about that.
Tel Aviv. Yeah.
All right, now is that with the Johnny O'Brien situation?
Yeah.
LSU's finest, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, now shouts out to him. Now, can you talk to me about the struggles of opening a gym? Because it sounds simple. A lot of people will be like, oh, I'm going to open me up a gym tomorrow. Like, can you talk to me about that?
That's actually hilarious. We had 2 interns come by from the East Coast. And so they came and they watched, you know, it was literally Monday was their first day. So they pulled up at noon. My brother's there. He's running a private workout at noon. So we got a private workout at noon, a private workout at 1, a private workout at 2. I'm doing a Zoom class at 3. We got a new class that we just opened up at 4, a young kids class at 5, another elite class at 6, a shooting class at 7, and then a private lesson at 8. And so then we finished up at 9, right? And it went like back to back to back crazy, right? But they seen like 50 kids walk through that gym and get better in that day. And they just loved it, right? The energy was amazing. Everybody was going hard. Everybody was learning the fundamentals, the skills, all the things they need to do. And so one of the guys, my interns from the East Coast was like, man, this is so dope, dude. Like, I want to open my own gym. Like, in 1 year, I'm going to have my own gym. I'm like, hell no, dude. No, you won't. Like, being a gym owner is 50 times different than being a trainer. And it's weird because I know a couple other people who have opened gyms up recently, and I don't know, like, I don't know if they're going to make it. Just because owning a gym is so different than being a trainer. Like, when you're a trainer, it is so much about just relationships and training and caring about each individual kid. And don't get me wrong, it's the same way. Like, that has to be number one. But when you're the gym owner, you're dealing with so many other things that have to do with being able to take care of rent and take care of all your utilities and make sure that people are scheduled on the right time and people, you know, are staffed at the right time. Like, a lot of other things that don't have to do with training. Who pairs up with whose membership is this, whose membership is that, who needs to switch days, which classes are full, like, just so many other things. So, you know, I bought the gym. There was about 40 kids already there, roughly, right? So I took it over. They all signed up with me. I added my membership packages. All right, we're good. Basically, I was by myself from March till October, where I would just be in there about 15 hours a day, just training every single kid that I could, you know, either the ones that are signed up to my classes, the ones that wanted to do private workouts. Like, it was crazy every single day. It was insane because I couldn't even have time to talk to the parents between workouts and things. Because as soon as your workout was done, another one was coming through. And around October, I finally just hit up one of my former players. Was like, hey, man, listen, like, if you need a job, come help me out. You know, you can help me start the classes, finish the classes. Give me just a minute to take a break here and there just to talk to the parents, because I know that's important as well. So finally, I had some help, and this dude came, you know, almost every single day of the week. It was only really a couple hours that I needed him for the classes, but it was huge. So he came and helped out with all that kind of stuff. It was just pretty much me and him up until like the next year, like May. And then my brother graduated, so I brought him on, and quarantine happened, and I had another guy come help me out throughout the quarantine, and he helped me, and now I have the 3 of them on staff, and they're doing a lot of the training now too. But it's crazy to open up a gym and to understand the business of having a gym and the relationships and the way that you got to take care of people and the consistency that they have to have. Like, it's a million times different than just being
it's easy to say it, ain't it?
Yeah, it's not easy, bro.
So
When I tell you I spent minimum 12 hours a day in the gym for the first. I took one day off. I think it was Christmas. I think that's the only day I took off.
Hey, that's rough, man. Hey, listen, that's the life. You got to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Do
Like
you
said, rent must be paid.
Do you have like any more like sports interests? Like any other sports you look at? Or?
Not really. I mean,
Not a fan
you
of
talking about just like for fun or like for serious?
Just for fun.
If I didn't hoop, I would probably play volleyball or ping pong.
There you go. There you go. Shouts out to you. That's what's up. A lot of people would think.
Do you follow volleyball or ping pong?
No, not even at all. Not even a little bit. It's just fun to play like recreationally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Did you have to like rent out any gyms or anything like that? Because I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, I got to rent out a gym and, you know, do classes there and stuff like that and whatnot. Yeah.
So the way I had done it was I would rent out a gym on Sundays because no kids have practice on Sundays for high school ball at least. Okay. So when the high school season was around, I just rent out a gym every single Sunday. The problem was you can't host a membership. So you can't sign people up for a membership because it's not my gym. So if it needs to get double booked for something else, or someone books it first, or this or that or whatever, like, you know, whatever random reasons, or a holiday comes up, well, you can't make that up at any time, or you can't do anything about that. So unfortunately, all I could do was just drop in. So I'd rent it out every Sunday and just hope and pray that enough people would show up, that it would work. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it was going really well. Some weeks we'd have like 10 people. Sometimes we'd have 15 people show up. Sometimes we'd have 20 people show up. Sometimes we'd have 4 people show up. So it wasn't a business. That's the difference with owning a gym. Like when I was running out other facilities and just, you know, saying, all right, $25, $30 drop in, like come in and come get some work in. We're here every Sunday, letting you know. Every Sunday I have to email, text, call people, let them know. Like, cool, people are going to come, people are not going to come, people would confirm, people would not confirm. I just had to show up every week and just hope and pray that it was going to be a good Sunday. Monday, this kid let me use, they have a gym at their house, kind of. It's not like a real full court, but they let me use their gym. So I get in there and use their gym every Monday. So I had my own session Sunday, Monday, and then like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like other days, I would have club teams that hired me, and I would have a team rate, but I would subsidize the rate. In return, they would allow me to bring other players to the skills workout. So I rented out my own gym twice a week, and then would subsidize my rate for my team training to at least be able to offer 4 days a week of opportunities for any kids that want to train with me to train. So that was really, really shitty, to be honest. Like it worked out just fine, but compared to the business that I have now, it's nothing, because there was just no consistency with it. Like there was every single week consistency, but there wasn't consistency with the pay. Like I was only getting paid based on if you felt like showing up or not.
Right.
You know, and I can't stand collecting money. I hate money with a passion. Like it's the worst. The exchange of money is one of my least favorite interactions with humans. I hate it so much. So now that I have memberships and people are just, it's on automatic renewal, I can make it cheaper. I can make it more consistent. And whether you show up or not, your spot is reserved. So it's just, it makes more sense as a business now.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now at 7'2", is the footwork the most complete thing? Is that the most important thing to worry about?
Why?
Well, I'm saying like footwork wise, because at 7 feet, most 7-footers, they really, I mean, nowadays they can shoot, they're getting better, but usually at 7 feet, you have to have good footwork to be down there in the post and getting with it, far as rebounds and post moves and whatnot.
I think footwork is probably the most important skill in general. I don't care how tall you are. It's probably the most important skill. Like, right, it's like footwork and shooting, but you can't really shoot if you have bad footwork. So it's correct. It's like neck and neck.
How do you select athletes for your program? And do you have anything that's open for the public?
Yeah, I train over 200 like youth kids. So anybody that is in San Diego and reaches out to me, you know, via my website or email or Instagram or whatever. I mean, if they're in San Diego and they want to sign up for my classes, I'll just let them know, hey, there's a spot available to this class. You can sign up for this one. There's a spot available for this one. You know, how old are you? And you can go ahead and just sign up. Like today, we have a class at noon. You know, it's full. Got another class at 1, it's full, and got another class at 2, and it's full. And all these kids that just reached out and just said, hey, can we train with you? I said, yeah. How old are you? They told me how old they were. I said, all right, well, you fit in this class. Or, you know what, I have four or five people on a waiting list. Let's open up a new class. But yeah, I you know, have hundreds of, like literally 200 kids that we just train every single week. So, you know, today I'm gonna go in. My brother's training right now. The harder selection is like, you know, who you train, like in private sessions and stuff. Because to be honest, we don't want to do private sessions with just everybody. I know personally, like I'd love to do private sessions with people who have a strong future, because I want to invest my time into people who also invest their time into themselves. So we recognize, you know, which kids go harder when they're not with us also. Like you can tell the kids that only train when they're with you, and you can tell the kids who are putting in work outside of, you know, the gym also. So those are the kids we definitely favor as far as like basketball skill, but I wouldn't say we favor them in general, because like even the other kids who I know will never play further than rec basketball or maybe play some freshman ball. we still love those kids too, and we want to help them also, just differently. You know, their goals are different, so just kind of like relating to those goals and understanding those goals.
Now, as a personal trainer, do you see anything coming up in this top draft? Have you looked at the top draft prospects? As far as Melo Ball specifically, I want to talk to you about that. Do you think his jump shot is broken like his brother's? Because a lot of people say Lonzo's shot is broken.
Well, Lonzo's is mostly fixed his shot. If you take a look at his new shot, it looks a lot better. You know, Jello has always had the best shot of the brothers. It's still kind of a little weird just because of his left hand placement, but it's overall it's not a major issue. Lonzo's is mostly better. LaMelo's is completely whack, but he's proven that he has the ability to get it off, which is, you know, step one of two. But to hit it consistently has been kind of his biggest issue. I think he should change it just because of how whack it is. It's definitely not appealing to look at, and it definitely didn't go in enough in Australia, but he's had some stretches where he's able to put it in. So I love the kid. I think he's probably one of the best players I've ever watched, period, just hands down. I mean, you know, 6'7" kid with insane feel for the game, understands how to get to his spots, understands how to pass the ball and make his teammates better, really athletic, puts the ball in the hole, can just shoot a floater from 15 feet, you know, insane finishes around the rim, off the right foot, off the left foot, off 2 feet, goes right hand, goes left hand. His arms are probably long enough to scratch his toes without even bending over. Like, he has the great frame. He has it all except for the ability to shoot from the outside. But
we stick defense.
Yeah, that's the biggest knock on him is he can't play defense.
But at that size, you know, you can work with that. You know, I can train you up on a couple, you know, show you a couple. Put you in
you can if he wants to, though.
He wants. If he's not a glamour girl, like I'm the star. What the hell I'm sticking deep for? Switch.
So if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, you're the GM, Mr. Razuki, GM and president of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are you looking to take Melo Ball, or are you looking to move that pick to Phoenix and try to form a banana boat with Devin Book and D'Angelo Russell now?
Man, they not giving you.
I don't think they're going to do that, but I would rather have Booker than Melo. Come on now.
They're not giving.
I'm going to take a proven scorer and the best friend of D'Angelo and Cat, bro. What? How do you? Chemistry, your chemistry is off the charts just based on who you have. You don't even have to worry about going into practice. Like, they've already played with each other enough.
Yeah, but I'll have to get rid of D'Angelo. I wouldn't. If I got Devin, I got to get something else.
No, Devin's a 2 guard. You seen
Devin? I know, but I don't like D'Angelo like that.
You saw Devin play the 1 with Phoenix when Rubio wasn't there, and he could play the 1, but that's too much usage on a guy who's a scorer.
No, I'll get another point guard style. I don't like D'Angelo's style with Booker and Cat.
Nah, dudes play differently with different people. So, you know what I'm saying? D'Lo played a certain type of way with the Lakers. He played a certain type of way with the Nets. And he's playing a certain type of way with.
I want some speed, though. He's not trotting down that court like that. I want some speed at that point guard position to pair with Devin. That's how I feel. Like I want something that get down the court real quick. So then when Devin come falling behind you, just pass the ball. My feet is in place. My hands is right, just like how you would be looking at him. You know, he gonna line that 3 up. I love that boy.
I like it. I mean, the 3 of them together, I like it.
Like, boys,
no, I think he's trash. I ain't gonna say. I don't think he's trash like garbage, like hooping wise. But I'm a Lakers fan, man. We drafted him number 2 overall.
Especially he played for my Warriors. I seen him first up.
I ain't trying to hear none of that. Listen, I'm a Lakers fan. We drafted him number 2 overall. He did not do his job. And we had to get him up out of there for season and all that crazy stuff. And he rebuilt himself in Brooklyn. I like Brooklyn D'Lo. I didn't like him on the Warriors, though. I didn't like what I saw on the Warriors. But I do think he's right with the
Brooklyn D'Lo got a lot of balls because he was a first round pick, right? Second overall. That's why he got the ball a lot. Usually, when you go to poor teams, you get the ball a lot. So, therefore, you get you a high scoring percentage. So, therefore, another team will come get you.
So, also, Ryan, is there anything for the people out here who can't get in contact with you because they're not in California? Say they live in Delaware or something like that, but they're a huge fan and they want to learn from you and whatnot. Like, is there any Zoom sessions or is there anything they can work out on at home and stuff like that? That
Yeah, I do a Zoom session every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
So anybody, I have kids from all over the world that are signed up for that, and so every single Monday, we hop on Zoom and just work out, and I treat it like a normal class.
Okay, you got to get on Zoom.
Yeah, so I have my shooting program also at the website, literally named after my Instagram, just r2bball.com. Okay. And so a lot of people have hopped onto the shooting program, but I'm adding like a totally free just progressional thing on there. Mm-hmm. And then I'm adding like a scoring thing. I'm adding my finishing program, my at-home workouts. I'm adding a bunch of different programs on there also. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of online options available for people.
Now, with you training and being such a huge influence, because there's obviously a lot of people that love you out here and the kids want to be like you. Do you have any personal mentors or any personal motivational things that move you and drive you every day that makes you, want to do the things that you do?
My mentors are Gannon Baker, who is pretty much like one of the godfathers of basketball training, but you guys might not know him. Cody Topper coached with the Phoenix Suns and coached with the Rockets, and he's currently at Memphis. Jordan Lawley, if you guys are familiar with him, he's out in Irvine. Devin Williams, 10,000 hours, if you guys are familiar with him. Like some of these guys that I've learned tons of when I was a lot younger. And then I've run a lot of camps with guys like Damon Altizer and Drew Hanlon and some other trainers, and just learned a lot from all these guys. As far as like what motivates me, I don't know, man. I really like helping people, and I want to get after every single day. And now I'm in a different state where I want to help as many players as I can, and that's always going to be number one. But I also want to help as many trainers as I can too. Just the fact that I can hire 3 people is one of my favorite things in the world. The fact that I can help 3 people make a living is one of my favorite things, and I want to.
That's a blessing.
I want to be able to hire more people. I want to be able to pay them more. I want them to be able to have like very, very good lives and, have financial security, but also be able to help as many kids as we can. And that's like pretty much the ultimate goal.
Hey, real quick, what is Michael Jordan? What was Michael Jordan trainer name?
I don't know, but he mentioned Drew Hanlon. I'm a Lakers fan. I know all about that. Shouts out to you, sir.
But he was one of the best trainers. I want to find out like what was so different about him. He was Kobe trainer as well. What was this guy that was Kobe trainer? I forgot his name.
Gonna kill me. I have his freaking book.
It wasn't VD, was it?
It's not Grover, is it?
Is it
Grover?
Tim Grover?
Yeah, Tim Grover.
His name?
I think it was Tim Grover.
Yeah.
Tim Grover. I know it wasn't Gary VD. I think VD was.
So you got winning the championship this month.
He coached Michael, Kobe, and Wade.
Did he?
Like, what was so different about his style? I want to try to figure out, like, for his guards, it seemed like he had a good knack on coaching guards.
Shoot, man, I don't know. I've only I had the audiobook for it, and I listened to parts of it. I hadn't listened to the whole thing, to be honest. But he had just talked about like their regimen, and I mean, pretty much one of the biggest things is availability, right? If let's say, for instance, if I was LeBron's trainer, I got to be available at any time of the day because Braun might hit you up at 2 a.m. and be like, "Bro, I'm pissed. I need to get in the gym," or he might hit you up after a game, after a win, after a loss, and be like, "Let's get some shots up." Or he might hit you up, prior to a big game and be like, "Hey, let's get it in." Or the, off season, "Hey, let's go Sunday through Saturday, this time every day. And then I want to go again at this time." And you're just like, "All right, well, there goes my life. I'm just going to do whatever you need me to do." So one of the biggest things is like availability with those guys. And then on top of that, pushing them and making sure that they're accountable and then understanding what they need. So every player is so different. Can you guys still hear me or see me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're good. But every player has a different level of accountability that they want, and obviously, like the greats want to be held accountable. But going back to like culture, like we talked about, some players, like I've heard stories of Kobe from one of my guys, Miguel, and he was like, "Yeah, Kobe would shoot like 10 fadeaways and ask me to slap the shit out of his arm." And he wanted to hit it even with the hit, and he's like, he wouldn't stop until he made like 20 in a row or something stupid like that. So you don't have to be as like creative with a guy like that. I'm sure Kobe was totally fine just, you know, shooting one dribble pull-ups for the entire workout. You know what I mean? But I'm sure other guys, like, they get bored of that. And so the great ones want to be held accountable to things like that. But there are other players that you can still help get better and make them better, but hold them accountable differently, if that makes sense. Like, Kobe can probably shoot the one dribble pull-up a million times, but somebody else's drill might be one dribble pull-up and then straight into a, you know, curl into a jump shot, no catch, and then, you know, drive to the rim, contact finish, or something like, I don't know, they might have to have some sort of variety. Everybody's a little bit different with how it's just finding the ways that can push them the best way possible. So it is being held accountable just differently.
You think the older you get as a basketball player, you simplify the game more? It seemed like like Kobe, later on in his career, he simplified it. What you got in the paint and started posted up, doing it. You know, finding different ways of scoring. Yeah,
just being more efficient and not having to take such a huge toll on your body. You just want to make the game easier, get the easiest buckets you can, because at the end of the day, 2 points is 2 points.
That's true. Now, do you prefer any type of system in basketball? Like, are you like the threes and everything, or do you like the inside out game, 7 seconds, anything like that? Triangle.
If I could change one thing about the NBA game, I would move the 3-point line about another foot back, and I would space the corner at least another foot on each side, maybe 2 feet on each side. Reason being is if you know anything about analytics, the layup is, every time you shoot a layup, the points per possession is 1.33, or it was a couple seasons ago. Maybe it's still somewhere around there. So if you guys understand math, it's 1.33. If you shoot a three-pointer, the points per possession are 1.28. And if you shoot a mid-range, it's 1.18. So basically, there's no reason to shoot a mid-range.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? According to analytics. The problem is sometimes these guys don't understand, like the analytic guys don't understand that when you shoot a three, the points per possession are 1.28 theoretically. But you might catch the ball and might not have your feet set, or you might have missed a couple jumpers. So your mentality is, well, they told me to shoot the three, but in reality, you wanted to shoot a mid-range because you knew you were going to hit that elbow pull-up. And, you know, for you, even though the points per possession were 1.18, you're like, no, that's a straight 2. I'm hitting that.
And then you need that threat of shooting the mid-range. Just for as in basketball terms, when you coming up the court, if he knows you only going to either take a three-pointer or a layup, they can stick D for that. You know what I mean?
So
mid-range, when they come into play, when you can pull up like Paul Pierce, when you can pull up from that little corner.
I know you did not just bring Paul Pierce.
Hold up. What?
He's a good mid-range scorer. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, man. You gonna disrespect Paul? Yeah. You know, you need that threat of shooting that mid-range, bro.
Yeah. When you think about majority of perimeter GOATs, they're all mid-range killers.
Yeah.
Jordan was a mid-range shooter.
Yeah. Kobe.
I like the ability for guys to be able to pull up, to spot up, to get to the basket. Like, anybody who can do it all, I'm a huge fan of. So you talk to me about Devin Booker, I'm like, bro, you can post up, you can get to the basket, you can punch it on people's head, you can finish around the rim, like, all types of way. You got a good floater package. You got a mid-range. You got a step back. You got a three.
And his personality.
You can score off the catch. You can score off the dribble. You can come off a pick.
Definitely a franchise player.
That's the type of dude I like to see. Any guy who can do all those things, right? You talk to me about Bradley Beal. You can score off the bounce. You can score in the post. You can get to the basket. Like, when you can do all of those things, that's what is the most complete player to me. But a guy who
clutch.
You know, like, let's take a look at like Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry has no mid-range pull-up, and he can't post you up.
Right? No mid-range pull-up.
Bro, he's not a pull-up. He stops on a dime and shoots it. He's not running fast and then pulling up full speed. He'll run, stop on a dime, and then pull up. That's different.
So when you he's easier to stop?
No, not at all. Didn't say that. I'm just saying I enjoy a player who has all of those things, right? You look at James Harden, he's not pulling up in the mid-range like that. You look at, you know, who else is like only three or layup, you know? you can think about tons of dudes who have no ability to just pull up in the mid range. Like Jamal Crawford could just pull up anytime he wanted to from anywhere. I like to see a dude like Booker who can get to the rim, shoot a floater, shoot a midi, post you up, catch and shoot threes, off the bounce threes, pick and roll play, all those things. Look at Chris Paul. He can do whatever he wants to.
I mean, Ja, he pull it up whenever he feel like it.
No, Ja's not getting no mid-range pull-ups like that. He's mostly 3 and at the rim.
Yeah.
He got a good floater package, though.
That he do.
Yeah.
That he do.
And he's 6'4".
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming talent that people should be aware of? Like, is there anyone that people you'd like to put on notice? Like anyone coming up in the ranks that most people.
How tall is Mikey, real quick?
He's 6'3".
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, his some of his teammates are going to be noticed for sure. I got a kid down in the South Bay. He'll probably go to USD next year. I don't know. We'll see. But he got his first offers just a couple months ago. Probably a 6'6" cat with long arms and just ridiculous bounce. Nice, clean jump shot. Can score from all levels. Named Alex Crawford. He's a kid I definitely want to see succeed at the collegiate level in a couple of years, and I love working with him. But a kid that I've been working with since he was like 11 years old is Yassine Duram. He's going to Yale next year. Obviously, he'll skip out on this year because of the whole Corona stuff. But he's going to Yale. He'll play at Yale next year. Probably one of the smartest guards I've ever worked with. That's a kid I'm excited for sure.
That's what's up.
And you mentioned the Corona. How is that affecting like people getting offers or people that were looking forward to this season to get more footage?
Yeah.
How is that affecting?
It hurts right now. Yeah, it hurts those kids a lot for sure. I mean, they can't really get that exposure they need, and if they've been working all year for it, like this kid Alex Crawford, I mean, he's lucky right now because his team is still playing in a couple of tournaments and things. But if they weren't, he'd have no offers right now. None. So any kid who's about to be a senior next year is tough on them. Their season in California doesn't start until March, and that's just pushing everything way, way, way back. Is hard.
Do you think the NCAA should try some sort of NBA type of bubble with each division or whatnot?
I don't even think that's possible, bro, because those kids are students, man. They're not just hoopers. They got to go to class still. Yeah. I mean, they can do virtual class, but not every state is in the same position, or not every conference his school operates exactly the same way. I don't think it'd even be possible to do something like that. But I think that they should play. Like they should play somehow, some way, some shape or form.
Okay. Well, I'm with you on that. I do definitely feel like they need to play, I guess in closing thoughts or anything like that, is there anything else that you would like the people to know that you have events or anything? Like you said, you do the Zoom footage every Monday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Zoom on every Monday. Is there anything else that people should look out for, even though
or something you can promote that, I know the Zoom classes he was saying, so.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the Zoom classes every Monday. And then I do, like, my shooting program is at r2bball.com. I'm going to have my finishing program there. I'm going to have my at-home program there, like pretty much all types of training. And then I'm working with another guard who's insanely good at ball handling. I want him to do the ball handling program for me because his ball handling is off the charts. And so if I want someone to do it, that's one of my guys. I want him to do it. Pretty much put out more resources for people who want to work with us.
Okay.
Lastly, who's your top ball handler and one of your top shooters, like in the NBA? You think the top shooter is in the NBA and one of your top ball handlers?
Yeah. Kyrie for sure is like probably the greatest of all time when it comes to handling the rock. His footwork is off the charts. Yeah. Best shooter, I'm a big Clay fan. I love his game. His shot is so perfect, and he gets to his spots with limited dribbles. He scores with ease. He's the type of player I would love to play like and to play with.
Okay. Yeah, he's a good number two.
Now, are you a gamer, sir?
Shoot. Yeah, I mean, I play a little bit of 2K, and really, like, the biggest game I play is Super Smash Brothers.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with it. I like it. Now, is Flight React really that good, man? Because he talk a lot of trash when he on the game, when he on 2K. Can he shoot at all?
when he was coming more consistently, I had seen him make like 6 shots in a row, like, 4 threes, 5 threes in a row. The biggest problem when I was training flight is just that I didn't get to see him as often as I would like to. So it was like, spread out a week at a time, or like, maybe I'd see him on a Wednesday and then maybe I'd see him on a Sunday. But really, I think I only trained him about 5 times or so. And he improved, no doubt, and he had a couple moves to his bag. But like I had millions of DMs and comments and things like, oh, you got to bring him back to the basics and this and that. I'm like, bro, I would love to if we were on a 30-day program.
Right.
Like if you see a dude 5 times, all you want to do is just give him a couple moves and a couple tips, and hopefully instinctually he, is unconscious and hits his second nature, which he's done a couple times. Like when he hit Jazair with the up and under, that's something that either we worked on like that same day or the day prior or a couple days before. Or when he was at the park and he hit some kid with a mean rondo fake, like that's something that we worked on. A couple times he had hit some moves, things that we worked on. So I was happy about that. But like, I'd love to see him for, 2 weeks straight and go back to the fundamentals and the basics and really lock in on some of those things. But
have you seen J. Cole? He's trying to get in the NBA now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
That's pretty good. Look like you got a good jump on him.
He's solid. I don't know, man. I'm a fan of it, but not a fan of it, because you don't want to dilute the NBA, and I don't mean that in like if he can hoop, no doubt, right? And I want to see him have a chance. But if anybody just thinks that they can enter the NBA, like, I think it would actually be better. I think it'd be better for the NBA if he didn't make it.
And I don't think the owner give a damn. I think it's entertainment. I think if he's going to put butts in the seats,
in the interest of business,
we'll put him on the bench.
Yeah, in the interest of business, we'll Tony Romo with Mark Cuban.
Let's say what he got.
But the credibility of your brand is more important than just the entertainment side of it.
Buddy.
Because otherwise you become like a show. Then you become like the Globetrotters, which is a way different brand than the NBA. People don't watch.
To make the playoffs anyway.
So, were you not a fan of the Tony Romo on the bench with Dallas during the whole Dirk Nowitzki trials or whatnot?
I don't even know anything about it, so I can't even speak on it.
Oh,
Tony Romo's on the Dallas Mavericks bench.
Well, Tony Romo played 10. I think he played like 5 or 2 minutes or something like that. Man,
in the game.
Yes, check your resume. Tony Romo was out.
Wow. Dude, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. That dilutes the sport, and that dilutes what you're trying to promote as the best league in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the NBA is revered as the best league in the entire world, and that, no one can check the NBA. Every other league is second. That's where you're trying to go. That's where you get paid. That's where the best players are theoretically, right? I know there's a ton of cats overseas that can get a spot in the league, but that's what it's marketed as. And if J. Cole is just like, hey, I just want to get into the league, and he's able to make it, even if he's good enough to make it, that gives people the mindset that like, oh man, J. Cole made it. Well, shoot,
anybody can make it.
I bet, this guy can make it. I bet this guy can make it.
Hey, right. Hey, there's more business for you, ain't it? You want them average Joes. There's a lot of average Joes out here. If everybody think they can get in the NBA, come on, sign into my boy Zoom class.
Everybody thinks that they can make the NBA anyways. Yeah. Like people don't realize what it takes. When I spent that summer in Charlotte, Johnny was going, 9 a.m. to 10:30 workout, and then we grab food and watch film, come back, lift weights, and get back in the gym and work out again a second time. Mm-hmm. So, like, I know kids that are not doing that. If I have a workout at my gym at 6 p.m. at night, and that was your first workout of the day, you already lost. If you came and you worked out, like my brother's training a couple kids this morning. If you came and you worked out this morning at 10 a.m. and that was the last workout you had today, you already lost.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids go to practice.
Those kids have masks on? You have them on?
No, you can't work out with a mask on.
Okay.
No, dude, that's so bad for your breathing. That's terrible for your
temperature or what?
Yeah, we'll take their temperature and then make them wash their hands before and after the workout. Okay. But they got to get it. They got to get it in, man. You can't train with a mask on and socially distance yourself and do freaking ball handling stations for the entire workout.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. There's only so much you can do standing still. So
now, when you say Jazari Jackson and whatnot, Jimmy Butler and all them, what are your predictions for the playoffs?
mean, I'm a Lakers fan, so I like the Lakers to do good. I like them to win. The Bucks look really nice right now. The Heat look good. Shoot, I don't know. It's way different in the bubble, obviously, because there's no home court advantage and stuff, and it's weird because like you finish that game and you don't have to travel.
Yeah.
So that helps their legs a lot. You know, a lot. Like think about Braun. Braun gets to play an entire NBA game and he goes straight to recovery and just hang out and chill and FaceTime his family, watch some Netflix, hang out, you know, get treatment and not have to be in a jet or fly somewhere. That's nice.
Yeah. I can't wait till Rondo come back.
He back.
So, I mean,
is he going to play or what?
Well, I know you gotta get to your class pretty soon.
Yeah.
Again, we'll appreciate you. This was a dope talk. Good conversation with you.
Definitely.
We have to be in touch. We'd like you to come on again.
Yeah, this is healthy.
Yeah, no doubt.
But thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll appreciate you.
Cool. You guys will. You guys take care.
Thank you.